Next up, we have Sarah Hargrove-Colino, and her brand is called Cray. Come on up. I'm sorry?
Grab those mics.
Sure.
All right. I'm going to start again today with a science experiment because I think this is the best way to convey the problem that we're addressing. So I'm going to mix up a traditional sports drink. So I've got 20 ounces of water. I'm going to add here 34 grams of sugar, dextrose, citric acid, 270 milligrams of salt, sodium citrate, monopotassium phosphate, modified food starch, and ester gum. And then some blue number 2. And the bottom line is, nobody should drink this, particularly not athletes or anyone who's concerned about exercising and what they put into their bodies. So I'm Sarah Hargrove-Colino. I'm the founder of Cray Organic Sports Drink, one of the founders, along with Dan Trainer and Annie Hesser. And we created Cray because we didn't want to put this in our bodies. We're athletes. Dan plays hockey. Annie and I play tennis. Our kids are athletes. We didn't want them putting this in our bodies. As backstory, I practiced law for 20 years in Chicago before starting Cray. And during that time period, I coached about 30 different soccer teams. And on every sideline of every practice and every game, you'd see bright blue, neon green, neon yellow sports drinks. Snack was almost always Gatorade and donut holes. And in my mind, that was not okay. So as athletes and entrepreneurs, we asked ourselves, why are people refueling with this? And the reality is that there really wasn't something better. So we came up with a solution, and the solution is Cray. So Cray has less sugar and fewer calories than traditional sports drinks. So it's 70% less added sugar. It has the electrolytes that athletes need, no artificial flavors, no artificial colors, no dyes. It's USDA certified organic, so non-GMO, and it tastes fantastic. So before we launched, we looked at the opportunity. So it's a $7 billion sports drink market. It's owned essentially by Gatorade and Powerade. We've been also looking at the consumer trends, and you know that 60% of Americans are looking at organic and making purchasing decisions, and 60% of Americans are trying to avoid the dyes and artificial sweeteners. We know people are looking at ways to reduce added sugar. So we know all these market trends, yet for whatever reason it hadn't permeated the sports drink market. So on the one hand, we feel like, are we crazy to go against these behemoths? Like, we know that Coke owns Powerade and Pepsi owns Gatorade, and Body Armor has an investment from Dr. Pepper Snapple. We also know that these big guys are also trying to dip a toe in the natural sports arena. So why would we try to compete? And the bottom line is because we feel that there's a vulnerability here, and we really believe that we can win. We know that there's the consumer demand for organics and the clean ingredient deck, and we don't have any baggage. We're not somebody's line extension. We are authentically organic. That's why we exist. That's why we built this brand. So our focus and our only goal is to put a better-for-you sports drink in the hands of young athletes and to do a little good in the world while we're doing that. So our target consumer is the 10 to 18-year-old athlete. We know that their parents and their coaches and their trainers are looking for cleaner ingredient decks. We know that the kids are unwilling to sacrifice on taste, so it has to taste good. So we spent about, we also know that there's 20 million kids playing sports, so that 10 to 18-year-old bracket, there's 20 million of those kids are playing sports. They need hydration. They need something more than water. So we spent about 18 months doing the proof of concept. So you're listening and learning and changing and listening and learning and trying to adapt. We're now expanding regionally, and we're looking to scale. So we're in some Whole Foods and Mariano's and Earth Fare stores. We actually recently met with Kroger and had a fantastic meeting, so we're hoping to get some really good news there. Maybe we'll be part of Beverage World that we heard about. We're also looking at 12-ounce bottles and multi-packs, so we know there's a lot of work ahead. But we feel really good about what we've been able to do in the past year and a half. So at the same time we launched Cray for Play, and this social mission is critical to why we're even in business. We created Cray for Play because we want to keep as many kids playing sports and in the game as possible. So in our short time on the market, we've already been able to donate $1,000 worth of sports equipment to kids in need. We've partnered with some professional athletes, so this is Glenn Robinson III, like right after he won the slam dunk contest. He loves fruit punch cray. He said, yeah, I'm willing to do an event with you. So we did this great event for Shepherd Community Center. Down here in the left corner is Cam Meredith from the Chicago Bears. Just 2 weeks ago, we put on this awesome Thanksgiving dinner with Cam and Jordan Howard and some other Bears players for Kids for the Mercy Home. So, the bottom line is we're playing this game to win and to change the way that people think about sports drinks. CRAE stands for Keep Rising Above, and that's what we aspire to do every day.
All right, Andrea, I'm going to put you right on the spot. Is Kroger going to pick up CRAE?
I don't know. I wasn't a part of that meeting, but it tastes very good. The call that I would have is that a lot of these sports drinks, talk about why they should be hydrated, and I'd like to see more of that. I think it's some information on the back of it, so more about the education piece of it. I think getting the organic isotonic is a great space to play in as people start looking more and more at the ingredients of some of the larger players. So it's definitely a great opportunity to have a clean sports drinks, but hydration is that key that you have to keep honing on it, because that's why a parent would want to pick it up for their kid, right? Yep. Something better. So
thank you.
As Sarah pointed out, two really big players in this space, difficult category, but she noted that there's a vulnerability in this space. Ken, do you see one?
Well, I don't know if I see vulnerability so much as I see, while a segment is growing, and this is a category that's growing, and a segment within the category that's growing, so there will be more activity there.
Matt, you're nodding your head in agreement. What do you think of the opportunity for an organic sports drink like CRAE?
I like the space. The thing I'm not sure of is that for the kids' side, I like the lower calories. I'm not sure. Do you know if that meets the technical requirement or definition of a sports drink from the American College of Sports Medicine?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
Yeah, John, in terms of target consumer, Sarah identified 10 to 18. What do you think of that as a target consumer for this product?
Well, I guess with that, I sort of would have expected it to be more broad, I suppose. And, I guess to the point of, sports drinks being vulnerable, I feel like we've seen a lot of, natural organic sports drinks in the past couple of years, but I feel like sports drinks are probably most vulnerable to things that are not sports drinks in the traditional sense. So, this tastes great. It looks nice. It's, hard to really, for me, process like why this would be successful where, think of things like Galazzo or whatever, like why didn't that work out? Like, why is this different? That's just how hard of a category it is. So,
can you follow up on what you think looks nice about the package?
I think it's just it's clean and it feels kind of approachable and harmless. It's not like screaming with this super technical sort of. It doesn't feel like a product that has to be used in a gym.
Yeah, Andrea, what are your thoughts on the packaging?
I think it looks great. If the target customer is a kid, the bright colors is what's going to attract them, right? And so that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Right?
Mark, you kind of took on the sports drink category back in the day. What do you think of what CRAE's doing?
We thought we might, and we really never did. The reality is, I did think early on we were going to compete against sports drinks, and we kind of created a whole separate category. So there's no question the category is vulnerable. There's no question. But I think the reality is it is a brutal, brutal process to try to go after that. And like John said, I've seen 30 companies like this in the last, probably 24 months. And it's tough, or it takes, $50 million that Body Armor invested before Dr. Pepper stepped in, right? So the only thing I would encourage you is stay super small, stay focused. If you're going to do something, I like the kids' focus. Work in Chicago. If you can't build something there, you haven't figured it out. If you can, it's a great place to start. So stay focused, stay narrowed. Don't expand too far. Don't worry if Kroger says no. Don't worry about it. Just keep at it and build in one market.
You are in Kroger with Mariano's. So.
Yes.
Okay. So, for the record.
There you go.
Chicago, in Chicago.
That's right.
Well done. Great feedback. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.